Okay, so welcome everyone this morning. My name is Craig Blanchette, and I am a global director with Take Shape for Life, and it's my privilege really to bring you this call this morning. This meeting, for those of you that are guests, welcome, but this meeting we have once a week, and what we do is the people that are here have at least one thing in common, probably more than that. We're all human beings, I guess, so maybe two. But we have the idea that we're not as healthy as we want to be, or that we wish we were, and so we've decided to work on it together. And so that's at least the one thing that bonds us all together in this community. And so many of us that are on the call this morning or in this webinar also have decided not only to work on their own health, but have the work that they're doing on themselves pour and spill over into other people's lives. And so this is what we do here. Once a week, it's 9 a.m. Fridays, that's Pacific time. We do have this particular training available on replay later, and you can get it on podcast, which is an audio-only version. If you go to iTunes and pull up your podcast library and search for Team Blanchette, you'll find it there. You can also go to Vimeo or YouTube and type in Team Blanchette. You'll be able to find the full video versions there. And for those of you that are watching it or listening to it on the replay, we'd invite you to join us live, and so we can get to know you personally. But we have actually, our agenda today is going to be, we have a guest, super excited, a couple of, we always love to celebrate when people are growing and people are learning and becoming more of who they want to be. And so we've got a special guest that we're going to introduce. And we also, I'm going to talk about, we're going to introduce the rest of our guests as well. And then we talk about this idea of recipes. And a recipe is merely just an instruction set that if you follow the recipe, you get the outcome that the recipe promises. So we're going to talk a little bit about recipes. And then we also are going to talk about training, leadership training, and new coach training. And Take Shape for Life has restructured those, and I want to make sure everybody has a really clear picture of when to plug in, if they want to plug in, and what that looks like. So, so before we go into our formal celebration of a new global director on our team, I want to toss it out to those. Is there any guests that are with us today that haven't been on for a while that we can have you be introduced to the rest of the gang here? It looks like somebody's on an iPhone and I can't see you and I can't tell who you are. Oh, it's Debbie. You're not new. Well, welcome, Debbie. Good to see you. And it looks like the rest of the gang here is pretty much everybody has been here for a while. So welcome, everybody. So I'm actually going to reshare my screen. I've got a fun little graphic here to introduce the next folks. So this is Trey and Leslie Begin, and this is a picture of their family there up in the top left, and a picture down below. You see Linda. I found that one on Facebook, and so I grabbed it because Linda was in there having a ball with her healthy girlfriends, and of course Trey and Leslie are there on the right-hand side. But so what's happened actually is to explain the family tree, the healthy family tree, right? So I'm the great grandpa, and then at one point I met Alex, right? And so Alex became part of the family, and then Sam and Harold Prestonbach are part of Alex's family, and then Leslie and Trey are part of the Prestonbach's family, and now they've got not only a big family in human life, they have a lot of babies, but they have an amazing team and family that they've built. And so to explain what Global Director is for those of you that may not know, as you start out as a health coach, you start helping people usually with their health journey. Well, you work up to a point we call executive director. An executive director, basically, you can get there a couple of ways. You can get there by helping about 20 people start their journey, so you're personally coaching them, or you can do it in a combination where you're actually bringing on and helping other people start their health coach practice. And so when you've helped 5 people help 5 people, you can be an executive director that way as well. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. One by building a team, one by just starting a health coach practice. Well, what they've done, global director means they've helped 5 people achieve executive director. So that means 5 people helping at least 20 people if it's client support focused, or the combination where you have some coaches building teams, which they do, and also many, many people. So I did a quick little calculation, and if we were to take 5 people times 25, and then we were to add their own clients, it's a minimum, and I mean bare minimum, of 150 lives that have been changed. 150 lives. Now, I don't know about you, but that's just such a big deal. And so I want to welcome Trey and Leslie back to the Health Coach Huddle. So many of you guys know these people. They were around when our family was a little smaller and we could all fit in one room. And now we've split it for a while. So tell us a little bit about. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Health Coach Huddle. Yeah.
It makes me happy to be back. And it's fun because when I went to my first Go Global, that was my first Take Shape for Life event. And I had been on these healthy huddles, the coach huddles before. And I went with Sam and Harold Prestenbach, and I thought, gosh, I'm not going to know anybody but Sam and Harold. And they've been my friends for years and years. So like, that's still fun. But then I went into the room. I'm like, wait, I know these people. And I had seen Diane Thompson and Daniela. And I think Martin was there. Was Martin there? Anyway, and there were a bunch of others too, but those are the people I see right here. And so anyway, it feels good to see the faces again. Kim, I didn't know you had a baby. Is it your baby? Oh, okay. I'm like, whoa, I really missed out on something. So anyway, and Linda and I roomed together at a national convention that year and became besties, health coaching besties. So we're family. And Alex and Craig, of course. I mean, I knew them, obviously. I met Alex when he did one of his first presentations. He just doesn't remember it, in Louisiana. So thanks for welcoming us back. But yeah, these healthy huddles are special because you get to see each other's faces and celebrate each other's success. And so yeah, thanks, Greg.
Yeah, you're welcome. So and so we have quite some new faces on, and I don't know if it's just. I want to hear a little bit about what you've done. I mean, I'm sure Alex has some things he'd like to ask you, and I want to really open this up for the rest of you. Because, here's the question. Leslie, when you first started this, what was your perspective on what you were doing? Like, because what you've done now is a kind of a big thing.
Very different. Yeah. So go ahead. You want to say something?
I was just going to say it changed. It changed for sure when it became not just a hobby.
Yeah.
So when it changed from a hobby to posturing yourself as a health coach, it changed the dynamic of how we looked at the business, I would say.
So personally, I started because I lost 45 pounds on program and I kept referring people to my coach. And finally she said, do you know how much money I'm making coaching all your friends and family? I'm like, no, but I'm so glad you are. She's like, yeah. And she told me, and I was like, okay, I'm coaching them. Like, so, I would like to buy all new clothes because I'm not a size 10 anymore. I'm a size 0. So, I started coaching, and it was just a hobby to be able to buy new clothing. And, they said, how much would you like to make? And I said, $500. And they're like, okay, $500 a month. I'm like, no, one time, just one time. I just want to go to Francesca's and buy $500 worth of clothing, and then I'm done, you know? And so that was 3 years ago. So then okay, so one night I'm not asking permission. I'm looking at him like, he's like, what the heck is she's going to say? So we own another business, and we had a family of 4 at the time, like 4 kids and us. And I was loving health coaching, and he told me we didn't need the money, but because he thought if I was motivated by the money, then I would just quit because it's too much pressure. And so I would hang my paychecks on the bathroom mirror every month, and they were just stacking up. He's like, that doesn't count, right? And by the 4th paycheck, he's like, you have to deposit that somewhere. I'm like, okay. So probably 6 months later, he was on the bed one night, and he was so stressed just with our other business and with some stuff that was going on. And he thought he was having a heart attack at the age of 32 or 33, 35, 34, who knows, some 30. And so that was like a reality check, because we really thought he was having a heart attack. And my neighbor came down to sit with the kids, and we took him to the ER, and it was just like mild panic attack, I guess, high stress, just super high stress on him. And it was in the emergency room that I decided this was my business, not a hobby. And so I just said, all right, I love what I do. He doesn't love what he's doing. So I'm going to take the pressure off of him and treat this like a business. So it became a small business at that point. And then when I started working, I invited one of my best friends. I kind of bullied her. I didn't know how to approach coaches yet. And I said, my best friend in the world, Joanna, I said, Joanna, you have been complaining and you need to lose 35 pounds and you're feeling chubby and you need finances too. So you need to just be a coach with me, because look, I'm making X amount of money and that would take care of a lot of your bills. So she started coaching. And when I saw the freedom it gave to them and how it took the pressure off of her husband, who was having a lot of health issues, it freed him to be able to go back to school to pursue a dream that he had. She started supporting a family with 6 kids on her health coaching income, and was free to travel and to do things that she never thought she'd be able to do when they were church planters. That's when I realized, okay, I want to set people free financially. Like, I like health coaching, but I want to set people free financially to do this, to pursue dreams. And so that's when it took off again. Okay, so that's kind of the steps in the process. But so I don't know. Ask me another question to guide me to what you want me to talk about next.
Yeah, I mean, because I think what you said there was perfect. You started out with this kind of a small dream, and it was just like, well, my butt doesn't fit in my pants anymore, basically. Because
or my pants don't fit on my butt anymore, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. It was for the right reasons, right? It was like most of the time it's for the wrong reasons. And so it's like, well, I need a new wardrobe. Fancy that. And that is one of the, I don't know if you've ever realized this, but there is some side effects and there is some negatives of this program. And it does usually result in a new wardrobe, because it actually changes your body so much that your clothes don't fit anymore. It's one of those things. So, sorry, there's an added expense. Shopping. Right? And so, and I remember, like other coaches, Becca Tinter, she was looking for $500 a month too, just to help out a little bit with the fringe she stuff. And I think we don't realize that this is actually a real thing, like most people, because health coaching, what is that? It's a weird thing. I know what a mechanic does. I know what a plumber does. I know what a doctor does. Health coaching, oh, that's this little kooky thing, right? And it turns out it's a real thing. So you started out with, wanting to change your clothes, buy a new wardrobe. And then what was it like as you brought on Joanna and you're like, what was that like? Because now it was probably different than coaching, working with clients. Now you had your friend working with you as a partner. Talk about that.
Yeah. It was so much more fun. Coaching clients is fun, but coaching coaches is like, gives me life because I mean, I had a new coach start. Her husband has PTSD. He can't get a job. I mean, he has amazing skill base, but because of his severe PTSD, he can't get a job that would support their family fully. So she teaches full time, but they still were living not just paycheck to paycheck, but debt to debt. And for her, it was really literally $500 that would change her life. Like that would help her to breathe. That would help her heart to not palpitate and keep her up at night. And so when I realized it's just $500, it's helping like 8 people, you know, and she loves people, deeply loves people. I knew it would be a natural fit. And coaching coaches just makes me, I mean, it goes so hand in hand. Financial health and physical health goes so hand in hand. When you're financially unhealthy, your body's not healthy. When you're up all night, fatigued because of your stress level. So anyway, it lit me on fire. When I saw the freedom it offered Joanna, I was like, this is something that is a really viable solution to so many problems, so many people's problems. And so, so anyway, yeah, it became very, very exciting. It gave me more of a mission, you know, and made me realize there are people out there who this might not be, they might not even have to lose a lot of weight, but they need the financial piece of it. And so if I boldly, with love and gentleness and confidence, will say to them, girlfriend, you are amazing at loving people. You're a teacher, you're a nurse, you're whatever you are, you know, you love people, you have a heart for health, you have been successful in other areas, and yet you have this one need, this one hunger for less stress due to finances. I am absolutely confident you would love coaching because of who you are to the world. And I know you would love it. Let's see if it would be a good fit for you. And when I started saying that to people, that's when it kind of expounded. So that started kind of in September, where I got really, really focused on who I wanted to help financially. I had specific people in my head and on my heart that God just dropped on my heart. And so I just approached them. I said all of the things that I just said, and not one of them said, no, I don't want to look at that. They might have had an objection where they're like, I just don't think I have time. I'm like, busy people get things done. You get things done all the time. I know you can get this done. Like, you know, I'll say, or I'd say, well, I don't know if it's a good fit either for your life right now, but let's just explore it and give it the opportunity. And if it's not, then we can explore it later, you know, when things do calm down. So,
you know, I'm going to jump in for a second there because that last piece was really critical, because it sounds like that's the same thing that Trey said when you started. It wasn't a good fit for him. This was playtime. Oh, do your play stuff there. It's play money. Those aren't real checks. Hang them on the. Oh,
no, he thought they were real. I just said, you said we don't need it, so I'm posting it here.
So he said he didn't need it.
But yes, we didn't need it. We had no financial need.
Because there's a lot going on behind the scenes there. Right?
Right.
Is he providing well enough for the family? Do we need it? Well, maybe you didn't actually need it, but what you were doing to get what you had was, wow, not so good.
Right.
So I'm actually curious for him. Is he still there?
Yeah, the baby was freaking out. So we have an 8-week-old baby. So he took care of the baby. So, but
when he comes back, I want to ask him about.
Hey, so let me jump in, Craig, for a second.
Go ahead, Alex.
I know you guys have to go in 6 minutes, right? Leslie?
I probably have another 10, but I always say 10 minutes early because of my buffer, because it takes me forever, but I'm good.
All right. So I want to jump in just because I know what it was like to be a coach in my first year, and then seeing someone like you talk the way you're talking, I'd be like, I don't know if I could do what she's doing. Like her personality, her level of passion. So what people don't know is they don't know how you started and where your confidence and where your emotions were with lots of different things.
Okay.
Were there ups and downs for you along the way? Were there times where you wanted to quit? Were there times where you just weren't sure if this was right for you?
Yeah, I know that's good, Alex. I like that. Yeah, I can run with that. Yeah, so I am a mom. So when I started 3 years ago, I was a mom of a 6-year-old, 4-year-old, 2-year-old, and 1-year-old. So it was a little busy. And then I was very involved in other business. I tried to put a letter of resignation in a million times to my husband. He would not accept it. And we had just built a house. We sold our house. We were reconstructing another house. Like, things were crazy. There was no reason I needed another hobby. And a lot of times I felt like Take Shape for Life was keeping me on the phone, or I wasn't effective in the way I used my time. I wasn't effective in the way I used my energy. And so I'd be on the phone and distracted from the kids, and they would act out. And yeah, multiple times I was like, I'm not taking any more clients, and then one other person would call me and be like brokenhearted about whether they were with their health. And I'd say, all right, I'll take another client. How can you say no? Like, no, you have to stay chubby and unhealthy. I'm not helping you today. There were times where, personal development, I had to grow. Like, I had to grow in my time management, my energy management, and I've become really good at that. I'm really good at that. And it still gets messy. And what I realized was life is going to be messy regardless when you have life going on. Until we die and we're like, the life is going to be messy. You get to choose what kind of mess you want, Do you want messy where you're inspiring people to move forward, where you're encouraging people, breathing life into their dreams, dreaming for them when they can't dream for themselves, helping them to feel better than they felt in years, to take pressure off their joints, to get them off of medications, to help a mom be able to run around the backyard with her kids, or help a dad be able to carry the kids on his back, or help a family to run a 5K together, or help a grandma to sit on the floor with her grandbabies without her knees hurting her when she gets up. Do you want to do that kind of mess, or do you want to do laundry? We have to do both. But I was like, I will help so many people that I don't have to ever do my laundry again, and I'll hire someone to do my laundry. That's my goal in life.
Leslie, something you just said there, because I think you have this great personality, and there's no taking nothing away from you. You are a really neat lady. You really are, and people do love you. But the things you just mentioned there had to do with other people, not you.
Oh, it has nothing to do with me. Yeah.
It had to do with your desire. You saw these needs in people, and it doesn't matter who you were, other than someone that wanted to figure out how to help them.
To love people. It's just about loving people where they are, And that's what I'm good at. Mm-hmm. That's what I realized when I realized I'm good at loving people. Mm-hmm. Like, that's my skill in life, is loving people.
I love that. So then you added to that skill in life of loving people the actual skills of energy management and personal growth and development that were needed in time management, so that you could sustain it. Because it sounds like you were like kind of pushing it so far, you were hitting a ceiling. So then you had to take this natural desire to serve people, love people, but then work on your actual practical application and skills to do that.
Yeah.
At such a volume type level.
Yeah, and love people in a structured way too. Yeah, add that structure to it. And Alex McMillan is like the all-star expert at that. Some of my main skills were from him teaching me, how to time block. And I was so resistant to that at first, because I'm like, no, I just flow with it. No, I have to time block, and I'm not as time blocked as a lot of people, but I have blocks of time where things happen, where client support happens, where follow-up happens, where reaching out to people happens, because add structure to the free spirit. And
I've got one more question for you, and then I want to toss it out to the team. Why didn't you quit when it got tough?
Oh, because people kept calling, stinking people. They all need to be loved. And that was kind of it. And I loved what I was doing. And I honestly,
we embraced the chaos of it. Also, with 5 kids, I think that helps. It's a little more natural for us, I think, than other people. But we just embrace that it's going to be chaotic. It's not going to be easy all the time. It's a little bit messy sometimes. It's a little bit busy. It's a little bit frustrating, but you just embrace it and you move forward.
So if people are struggling with chaos of your life, what you need to do is add more kids in your house.
Like, whatever.
Why don't you bring a chicken and a goat in too, and then you will be like the most successful ever. I love it.
And then just buy a house and tear out all the walls. That helps too. Like tear out all the walls.
I love it. And have a house that's in disrepair and all kinds of other stuff. And I love last night what people didn't hear that weren't on the FIBC call with Dr. A was how you guys went to bat. And I love it. This is definitely a dynamic. It's not just like Leslie doing all the work. Trey, you can clearly see. So Craig asked earlier, he had a question about how this is how you've had to be a part and what's had to shift for you. Because I know your guys' families you guys have had to grow up as a couple too a bit, right? Yeah. So if you could talk a little about that. But it was the kind of like the end story of that is Leslie's about ready to pop out a child, and you guys are going to bat, bringing on the most coaches you've ever brought on, like to the days up to, you know, that. But I know that's two questions in there, but I'd love to hear a little bit about that. And then I know Craig did say he wanted to open it up to people if we have time.
Yeah. So I was the due date for the baby was September 11th, and my nesting was building this business. Like our house was a disaster. The baby did not have a place to sleep, but I was like, we'll figure it out. And so nesting did not happen except building the business. And so I approached 5 people with coaching in the first week of September. All of them said yes. And so I was like, okay, I'm having a baby in approximately like 7.2 days, you know? And so it's time to get started. So I got to business. It got down to business. And it's a two-person team. And Trey did a lot to go ahead, Trey.
Well, what I was going to say is I remember, and I don't remember who it was.
Shane LaBelle.
Shane.
Oh, about the
folding laundry.
Shane LaBelle.
Taking kids to school, changing dirty diapers. I just put the kids to bed. I just gave her the time that she needed to put towards the business. And it wasn't like a duty for me. It was pleasure, because she was able to really focus on Take Shape for Life in the business rather than having to worry about put the kids to bed, cook dinner, all of those things. And fortunately, I have a job that I'm willing and able to do that. In my spare time, I took care of the kids. That's what I did. And so the cool thing and the hard thing about that is Leslie developed a lot of skills throughout that time. And so now I'm having to try and catch up with the skills that she was able to have over that time to help with the business. So I'm helping with just reaching out to people, posturing myself as a health coach with Leslie, and just kind of, tag teaming it, I guess, instead of me taking care of one part or the other part.
Are there people on this call that their spouse is supportive of you, but not part of growing your health coaching practice? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I want to just say though, one of the dynamics of that is not everybody. It's taken Jill and I a long time to get into that supportive realm. So I want to give everybody that doesn't have a supportive spouse. Go ahead, Leslie, if you have something on that, because it can take a while when that happens.
Didn't really jump in until, he came to the trainings with me and stuff, but he's just now really jumping in besides like helping with the kids. So what I always, work with coaches on is he was supportive because he saw that I was finding satisfaction as a coach. So there's something deep inside me that was finding some kind of satisfaction with loving people and inspiring people to move forward with life. So what we had to work through, he and I'm just being really transparent, is he would get frustrated when I would pop up something on him and be like, oh, by the way, I have a Zoom at 7:00 tonight. And he's like, it's 6:00. Like, I thought I had a teammate right now and I don't. And so I'd take off to the garage office and he'd be with all 4 girls and getting them like dressed. So that is something we've had to work on. And I'm still not perfect at it, but work on just practicals and get their agreement. Say, I remember going to him and being like, I love what I'm doing. I love being a coach. And in order to grow further, I'm going to need support. And what can we do to work together? Because, and then I knew exactly what time I needed. So at that time, because of our crazy schedules, I needed 2 hours on Sunday night to do some support calls, and I needed support on Monday mornings. And then, I don't know if that helps, but I knew what I needed, so I could approach him and say, I love what I'm doing. We both love the income and we see the potential. So would you be willing to support me practically? And this was really early on, by allowing me these hours. And then as it's grown, he gladly jumped in.
And there's one important thing too, is that for me, as the spouse that was supporting the coach in the beginning, was that we created pretty strict boundaries. So there's freedom within the boundaries, right? So there was a time where it was a moment in our week where we got to spend our date night together. And that was a boundary that was not crossed with Take Shape for Life. So in order for me to feel secure in my place in the family and be able to smile and say, yes, I can do it every other night or every night or whenever it happened, that time during our week, I felt secure in knowing that it was mine with her. And that was important for me and it was important for her. And so that probably is what propelled us through the hard times, was knowing that, okay, tonight's Thursday night, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm putting the kids to bed, I'm folding laundry, I'm doing sandwiches for lunch tomorrow morning, I'm getting up in the morning, I'm taking them to school, and I'm going to pick them up from school. But Friday evening, I have a date night with my wife, and I know that nothing else comes above that. So that was really, really important in our lives.
Hey, Trey, so it sounds like too, I'm tentative even telling this joke, but so you protected the date night, and the one of the byproducts of date night is in your hands right now.
Babies.
Right, baby.
That's correct.
But it was that time together to make sure that you were being taken care of, she was taken care of, and you guys didn't like neglect that.
Right. And because, we have a little more flexibility during the day to spend time together too. We always say we have more time than most couples, but at least, but with the coaches that I've coached in this, I'll say, set some boundaries. Like, no, look at your calendar. And Alex really coached Jessica Hoffmeyer and I in this. Like, look at the weekly calendar and say, okay, I can schedule some pre-client calls on this evening and this evening, but this evening and this evening are for my family, or say, it's okay to say for 3 hours in the afternoon from 4:30 to 7:30, I don't do anything because that's my time with my kids when they get home from school. But from 7:30 on, I will take pre-client calls, do coaching with the people who are working. Other people I do during their lunch hour or I do during the day, practically. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that helps. Okay,
that's really good. So we have a couple new people that have come on here, but I want to, I know Linda's on the telephone. She's watching some kids as well. And I know she wants to say hi to you, but so I want to just toss it out there to the gang. If you have a question, I mean, this is quite an honor, brand new global directors, and who has a question for Trey and Leslie? Yeah.
Steph.
Yeah, this is go ahead. This is Lynn Ann.
Oh, hi.
Hi. So Lynn Ann's a brand new to the health coach. She's
brand new.
Brand new.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
Welcome.
Anyway, so I am divorced, so I don't have the joy and blessings, and I don't have a spouse.
Yeah,
I will soon. I'm just saying.
That's
it's just me. And I was saying earlier, Leslie, about when Craig said, "How did you not quit?" and you said, "I'm getting all these calls and people are, crying out for help. I can't say no to them." Now, I wish I had that. How were you? I'm a lot older than you. I'm doing the Zoom thing, I think. Is that what we're on? Like, I don't even get all that stuff. I mean, were you advertising, via social media sites? How did you get what you're offering out there? Because I feel like I have the kind of personality that you do. I just have energy and exuberance. I love people. And if I saw Craig's note, that building the business is loving people practically.
Yes.
And I want that. How do you translate your love for people into a way to support yourself?
So Craig and Alex both are really good at this. And one of the things that I do, and there's a training they can give you called the Hundreds List. And the Hundreds List is just a way to start conversations with people who you haven't connected with in a long time. It doesn't mean going to people and saying, you need to lose 100 pounds and I can help you do that. It means going to people and saying, oh my gosh, your kids are adorable. I can't believe it's been 20 years since we've seen each other. I just love that Facebook gives us a little window into each other's lives. How are you doing? You know, so it's starting conversations with people that you have trust and love with from the past, and just opening up those conversations. That's one of the keys. So there's the law of the harvest. So you plant seeds, plant seeds, plant seeds. Eventually something's going to grow. And so, and if you plant seeds of love and of health, eventually love and health are going to grow, you know? So consistency plus time equals success in this business. You'll hear that if you go to any convention or training or anything. So consistently posting on Facebook and whatever social media you use, consistently presenting yourself as a health professional. Yeah, I see your look of fear, but you just do it. Like, just kick fear in the face, as one of our mentors, Tia Wood, says. Kick fear in the face, and it doesn't have to look like a before and after posted every day. It looks like you posting your healthy lifestyle with all of those exercise machines behind you, you know, or like there's lots of creative ways to do it. And I would follow some other successful health coaches on social media so you see what their presence is like. Craig and Alex can suggest who you would follow. Mm-hmm. And then see how they present a healthy life, a desirable, active life. Yeah. Not necessarily exercise life, but just a healthy life.
Well, and it's an obstacle. That is an obstacle. I mean, I remember just trying to get used to email. I was like, what? I can't do that, blah, blah. And then there was texting. I mean, and I'm still text like this with one finger. But, you know, what is it that I guess it's the goal of what is it that you really want? I mean, do you want, you know, there's 500 people, 1,000 people out there right now that need your help. Are you going to let the fact that Facebook looks funny to you and you don't know what to click on keep you from doing that? Am I right? Like,
right.
And I want to jump in so quickly. And as Craig knows, I have 2 sons in their early 20s. One is lean and the other one is obese. I mean, he needs to lose over, 100 pounds. And as a mom, I'm like, I have got to help him.
Yeah.
And he could, literally be a coach and do this for his life. And then you do walk around and you can't say, oh, golly, you really need to lose 50 pounds. And in the fitness business, you're not going to say that, but as a personal trainer too, I mean, you just size people up, and you're like, oh, I could really help them, but they can't be your lead.
Right. We've learned a lot that you can't help others unless they're willing to be helped, unless they're willing to say, I need help.
Yeah, one of the things that Take Shape for Life in general says we're for people who are ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn Ann. Lynn Ann's part of Martin's health team, and that's a long story. We'll introduce her in a minute. Who else has a question for Leslie? I know Linda's out there somewhere, and then Angela. Angela, why don't you go, and then Linda Benson, you can go next.
So the benefit of Facebook is crazy. I am a college student, a nursing school, and I've had fellow classmates who have stalked me on Facebook to the point where they've been able to see my side-by-sides. And so they have approached me about, how in the world did you do this? Talk to me. I've had one person come to me and she wants to be a client, but more than a client, she wants to be a coach. So have you ever had someone just jump in with both feet and say, done. I don't want to just be a client. I want to help people because you're amazing.
Yes.
That's really daunting to me to think that the reason that she's wanting that is because of the side-by-side that she saw on my Facebook page. That's really random for me.
Well, is she a nursing school student with you?
Yes.
Well, so she has a bigger passion. I mean, you're like my dream coach right there. So whose coach is Angela?
Yeah.
Yeah, Angela, you've lost how much?
I've lost 125 pounds.
Yeah.
And who's your sponsor? I mean, who's your coach?
Markham.
Yeah, Martin and then me. Yeah, so she's
Okay.
3.
So the cool thing is
Markham.
you're not coaching your coach alone because you're so new and this is the first coach that you'd have. Yeah, we've had people who started coaching before they started their weight loss journey because they needed to afford the food. So they inspired 5 other people to get healthy. It afforded the food and, so yeah, that's exciting. Those are the best. Like
it's super daunting to me that, because of what she saw on what I've posted on Facebook, that she's like, wait a second, I can do this too. And she hasn't even started the journey. So that's really, the thought process is just kind of mind-boggling.
Well, that goes to the fact that when people are ready, they're ready.
Yeah.
So when they see it, they know. And so we always have to be ready. Sometimes those seeds that were planted maybe 10 years ago in that person's life. But they've seen your story and they're ready. And so they're in.
And then you're reaping the harvest of somebody else's seed planting.
Right.
But the cool thing is you have team coaching. That's the beautiful part of team coaching. So Martin and Craig are going to work with you to move that coach forward. That's not your job. I mean, that's kind of how we function it's an organization. I'm making some assumptions, Craig.
It's actually Jim Markham. It sounded like Markham.
Yeah.
The thing with you, Angela,
people who are pouring into your journey are then going to be helping you to move this coach forward.
Well, and Angela, one thing I just want to say to you is get comfortable with the reality that you have transformed and your actions are yelling health. So maybe you just have to deal with that.
Right. Well, that's another thing is that I literally still see myself 125 pounds heavier to the point that it's stupid, but I still will go to the size 22, 24 section because I still see myself there. My husband laughs at me all the time, but I don't see myself where I am today. And so I have to wrap my own head around my own transformation. And then to know that people are being inspired by that transformation is incredible to me.
Yep.
Congratulations, Angela. That's huge. Yeah. That's so exciting.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Angela. So Linda, Linda Benson, are you in the house?
Oh my gosh. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Linda.
Oh, hi, beautiful. Oh my word. I could probably spend hours talking about this incredible couple, but honestly, Leslie and Trey were some of the first people I met besides Craig. And Leslie, was your passion for contending for people in their hearts and their lives that really showed me a lot more about what this was all about. And honestly, you guys doing it and being successful as I move into motherhood for the first time, I've had some fears of how do I do this? What does it look like? And it's just, I know that I could do it. Even if there's stuff that I don't know how it'll transpire, watching you guys do it and be successful and keep that heart to love people. Cause I can get behind that. I'm like you, Leslie, the money is awesome and it's helpful, but should I raise a baby and help people at the same time? Yes. And it gives me hope. It really does. To think that I could do it, even though I've got 3 months until this baby comes, Lord willing. But it doesn't mean it has to slow down. I can help more people. So thank you for pressing in, leaning in, contending for people, and allowing the Lord to work through you guys so that new moms like me can think, okay, this is possible. And I have a team around me like Craig and Alex and others who can do it. So I could go on forever, but I love you guys. I'm so proud. I couldn't be more happy for anyone.
Oh, love you, Linda.
Mhm.
Well, and
You guys too.
I'm gonna have to run because we have the ancestor feast at the school that I didn't even know about until last night when we were supposed to make Irish soda bread at 11 o'clock at night. I was like, this is not okay. I've always said I hope that our story, like, because it's just been a chaotic story, and we've had more. I smile a lot. It's the joy of the Lord is my strength. I smile a lot, but we've had a lot of valleys personally within close family over the last couple years, and there have been a lot of tears to work through, not having to do with health coaching. Sometimes health coaching is the part that kept me going because it's kind of my therapy. I'm forced to not think about what was going on around me and forced to celebrate someone else's amazing accomplishments. And so I do smile a lot, and on here I have a bunch of energy. But I've always said I hope my story is one of those where people say, heck, if she can do it with 5 kids, and I have 2 parents with disabilities, and we don't have family helping with the kids. It's the 2 of us. And if she can do it, building a house, selling a house, renovating a house, and dealing with some other diagnoses that we didn't want to have to deal with. And if she can do it, surely I can do it, you know? And our life is messy and it's beautiful, and health coaching has really been some stability for me. And so I'm so thankful that I pushed through. And anyway, thanks so much, Craig, for welcoming me back to the team. And I'm excited for you guys and your teams, and you have amazing leadership and Alex and Craig here. And I'm excited for you guys, and use that mentorship, use that leadership, because they know what they're doing. They have training from some of the best people in our entire company. We are lucky to be in the line that we're in, Terry Miller's organization. So they have training that's like breaking training. So if they're suggesting something and it doesn't resonate with you, and it's something that you keep hearing, definitely think about what they're saying and apply it. But thanks, guys, and we're gonna see you guys later.
Yeah, thanks.
See you on the other flip side.
Yeah, that's right. Congratulations.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
It could mean something really bad in like rep terminology. Okay, bye, guys.
See you later. I love it.
Bye.
So, wow, what a treat. Oh my
Good
goodness.
time.
I hope you guys just soak that in because it's messy, right? But
It
is it worth it? I think you have to decide. I think it is. But we have a couple of, at least one new face that's joined us. And Lynn Ann, she spoke earlier. So Lynn Ann's part of Martin. There's another person, Renee and David London, and they own a gym called Rock Fitness. And Lynn Ann and Vina, you'll meet Vina soon, both came on board as coaches and clients on the same day. And with Martin has been following up with David London, the owner, for 3 years, folks, 3 years. He actually bought his coach's kit 3 years ago, and then it got dusty. And Martin continued to just follow up. And eventually David said, okay, I'm done with this. I'm ready. And now we're running like a lot. So Lynn Ann, just in maybe 1 minute, your background, where you're from, and what you're excited about.
Born in upstate New York, veteran Spanish teacher, like any level of like 30 years, was married to a military guy, traveled all over in that. And now I'm very sadly divorced. I have 2 grown boys. And as David London would say, I'm reinventing myself. I was in the fitness industry before my boys were born, and then did the whole classroom thing. Now I'm back in, and big time. So I'm a personal trainer. I'm getting more training with that. I'm working through National Academy of Sports Medicine, getting certifications with them and TRX, and I'm very, very excited. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So you guys are inspiring. I want to engage with other people that need to be healthier, and in a lot of different facets. And I know that Take Shape for Life does exactly that. You're not just dealing with fat. It's really the whole person and other aspects of their lives. And if you can add quality to somebody's life and actually longevity, what could be better than that?
Wow. Awesome.
I just want to also say to you, Lynn Ann, you stay close to Martin and Craig on that whole social media and how to launch that. When I got into Facebook, I'm also a fitness person as well. First off, I didn't have any time, supposedly, to build this business. Second, I was not on Facebook. Oh my goodness. And I had to build that. So I just wanted you to know that. And I hated Facebook, actually. I wasn't just not on it. I didn't like it. So
yeah, I don't like it either. But I got to test that. Yeah.
And now it's a part of my business. But so is live, meeting people in person and face to face. So there's a balance. I just wanted to say you got a great team to help build this, though. Welcome to the team. I'm first NASM was my first certification back in the day. Also, 20 years.
Yeah. That's so good. So good. We got just a few minutes left as we are gonna wind down the call. This next piece is really a simple thing, and I just want to make sure that now that we've excited you and got you gave you some vision from craziness and not a lot of really purpose to craziness with purpose and a lot of growth, right? That's what you saw in the begins. Right? There's still kind of crazy going on, but she has a purpose and she has some structure and some intentionality. And Take Shape for Life, in order for you to be the health coach you need to be and want to be, you will have to change. And it's more than your pant size. You got to grow if people matter to you. You just have to. And I love that. I love that that's a requirement of this career choice. I love that because I'm better because of it. And I do the hard work because I kind of have to, right? I know, Kim, a lot of us coaches are going, yeah, exactly. So you saw her story here. And so there are some trainings that Take Shape for Life. There's some restructuring going on, some clarity that's happening. And so with that, I want to show you there's 2 nights a week. One's coach development, coach training, and one's client development or client training and support, right? So it's Mondays and Wednesdays. That's it. Hope in your mind you're going, oh. So I want to tell you about Monday specifically because you guys are coaches. So you can plug in to the core trainings that Take Shape for Life is offering. Let me share my screen. Super, super simple here, but I wanted to make sure it was that simple. So this is Monday night. And so starting at 7:30 Eastern, which if you want to watch it live, well, 765 4:30, you can watch it live. Or guess what? We're going to do it again at 7:30 Pacific. So as long as you remember 7:30, you're good to go. You'll just watch the replay, right? And it's 30 minutes long. This is called Starting Point, and this is for everybody that's brand new. I would say brand new up to executive director. There's, there's going to be stuff in there. So it's 30 minutes starting at 7:30 Eastern, right?
How do you get on there, Craig?
Yeah, at the very bottom there, do you see this 768-210-227? That's the Zoom number. So all you have to do is mark the time and write down that number, and you can get in. Now, for those of you that may not know, you can actually tune into Zoom from a telephone, and you call the Zoom dial-in number, which is always the same. And if you don't know what that is, grab a pen. I'm about to tell you. The Zoom dial-in number is 415-762-9988. I'll put that in the chat window as well. Oh, maybe somebody else just already did that. Yeah, here you go. So you dial that number, and now you're in the Zoom house. But now you got to get to the right room. So you got to dial in that last number, and that will pop you into the right room on the telephone. No internet required. Okay, so that's important. That's 30 minutes. Well, as soon as that's over with, at 8 o'clock, we have the leadership webinar for all coaches. This is only 15 minutes long. So maybe you only have 15 minutes. Pop into here. This is usually going to be Dr. A, but it could be other people as well. But it's just a short little 15 minutes. And guess what? The Zoom ID, if you'll notice, didn't change. That's sure helpful, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So at 8 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Pacific, or if you want to do the live show, 8, 7, 6, 5 p.m. Pacific, you can turn into a live one, right? So that's 15 minutes. So we got a 30-minute, then we got a 15-minute. And then the core business training. So this is senior coach and above. Doesn't mean you can't, if you're not a senior coach yet, doesn't mean, which is 5 clients, doesn't mean you couldn't tune in, but the stuff is probably going to be like, it's like the second year of Spanish. You probably need to, learn the basic Spanish before you go into the advanced Spanish, right? So these kinds of skills, once you hit senior coach, will make more sense to you. And this one is 45 minutes long, and it starts right after the leadership. And if you'll notice, the Zoom number didn't change, right? And so this would be 8:15 Eastern, 8:15 Pacific. So I thought it was important for you. I'm a visual guy, and I read this. Here's just the recap for y'all. I read this in the document on TSFL Coach Connection, and I was like, I need to see that visually. And so hopefully this was able to show it to you in a visual way so you understand. Monday nights are leaderships in the house. So I don't know about you, but with Leslie, one of the things that she said was she had to do time blocking. So immediately I'm thinking in my mind, Mondays are spoken for because I want to be an awesome health coach and I want to help lots of people. So I am carving Monday and protecting that time because that's when I'm going to grow, right? Any comments? Alex, you have I know I see a lot of noddings. Obviously, those people are nodding. You've been there. You've been part of that. But
the toughest thing is our mind sometimes gets in the way, thinking I'm giving up time. I don't have that time. And Stephen Covey said it really well. He's one of the productivity experts. If you ever remember Franklin Covey day timers and day planners and that, he was the guy who spearheaded all of that. But he said that you take 1 hour of preparation and planning will give you back hundreds to thousands of hours of your life. 1 hour of training and personal growth and development structured properly can change literally the world in your life. And he proved it through his whole discourse. I'm not going to go ahead and go through a 7-hour workshop, but it is phenomenal. But our brain wants to somehow think we're missing out or we're going to be putting something down. And I remember, Craig, you challenging me a long time ago to say, hey, if you've got your priorities right, you'll figure out how to adjust things and make things work. And Terry Miller had backed that up. And I did not trust that for a long time. My life stayed very chaotic. Then I decided to do that. And I'm like, I have amazing amounts of time now.
Alex, who was that person that you're referring to?
Stephen Covey.
Oh, Stephen Covey.
Yeah, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a great personal growth and development pillar. But the point is that he teaches you how to put first things first and how to prioritize. And one of the interesting things, and not to run off, that Leslie and Trey did, they put first things first by time blocking their family first. That is a very important thing for time blocking, is to put, and maybe you don't have a family. Okay, so I'm not talking to everybody. Time block time for you that fills your cup first in there, but then put everything else around. Those are called the big rocks, and you'll learn about that later.
Oh, I know what that is.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So here's someone just asked a question. If I couldn't attend live on Mondays yet, and I had to watch them on recording, the first thing I want you to hear and realize is that you have to time block the time when you'll watch the recording.
Mm-hmm.
Why would that be any different? Just because it's not live, So what you need to do is, I did, because Mondays are I have time with my wife in the evenings on Mondays when she gets home, and it starts at 5:30. So what I did is Tuesday mornings I time blocked an hour to listen to the recordings, right? And so it's still time blocked. That I just changed it. And so if you want to know where the recordings are, Anybody would like to know where the recordings are? By the way, if you can attend these live, and if you can't, when can you? Like work towards it. Maybe you say, okay, when this Bible study ends, I'm going to restart it on Tuesday nights so I can free up Monday. I don't want to just start another one on Monday nights, so think about that. But if you go to your My Office in Motion and you see this little tab here called training, and you see it says core business training, you see it health coach starting point, Zoom call, you see those? So if we click on that, health coach starting point, and it tells you how to get in and what the Zooms are. And oh, snap, there's a bunch of recordings.
Wow.
Right? And then if you go here to the other one, which is training, core business training, now you go down here and it's like, ooh, getting into action, becoming a master in people skills. Now, these core business training, this is more for advanced folks, for people that are senior coach and above. Means you at least have 5 coaches, or 5 clients. And so that's where you can go and watch these on the recording later. So that's Mondays. Wednesdays is client support, right? So we have the client support call and the Habits of Health webinar. And by the way, this coming Wednesday, yours truly is going to be hosting. I'm actually filling in for Amber Smithson and Mark Nelson, Dr. Mark Nelson. But I was going to do tech, and it turns out that I'm actually going to just talk about it. And it's called brain biceps, right? Which is a topic you all know I love to talk about, it, how to teleport into the future and how to exercise your mind about trafficking in the future. And so
you just like talking about biceps, dude. Forget that brain stuff. You know the truth.
Yeah, that's right. It's just all about biceps.
It's not biceps.
Yeah. So
you get to flex those things, man.
Yeah, exactly. So at 5:30 on Wednesday will be the live webinar for, and then I'll be hosting that. So you guys can tune in there and do that. But so you have Mondays and Wednesdays, and then you all know Fridays, right? This is just our little team here. We don't invite the world to come to here. Actually, we do, but not everybody shows up, right? Maybe they didn't get the invitation. So when Fridays is a different feel. And I'm taking some time to really help settle this in your mind, these columns. You know what Monday is. We talked about that. You know what Wednesday is. That's 2 nights a week. Well, Friday is more like a community thing where we get to talk to each other. We see each other face to face. We get to feel that warm and fuzzy. And I don't know about you, but I look forward to hanging out with you guys every Friday. It's just an important time for me. I like you. I truly like you. And so we do some training here, sure. But we also do some introducing new people, and we provide an environment that you can invite people that you care about to come let us meet them. Because if you have some cool people in your life, would you bring them here? Because I want to meet them. I don't care if they become coaches. I don't care if they become clients. If they're awesome people and they have something to offer us, bring them here. Maybe they'll like us too, and they'll hang out a bit. You guys seem to hang out. You guys keep coming back. So there you go. So that's what we do here on Fridays. And it's kind of a little bit lighter on the training. It's more customized. And I'm the one, this is just for our team, right? And guests. So does that help clarify things in your mind, that it's not overwhelming? You got a lot of time around to have your life happen. So
yeah.
Yep. Awesome. And I'm going to just point you guys to the Optimal Health Coach page. Actually, I'll just quickly show you that if those of you haven't seen it. This is just a last little tidbit. It's kind of a simple thing. But if you go to Optimal Health Coach, Blanchette, so all of you guys are in here. And this is where I post little different things, little resources and things like that. Well, I posted this. It's daily texting campaign. So when you have a new client, I think it's valuable to know about this resource, even if you don't have a client yet, right? So what am I going to do during the first week of their program? What do I do? What do I do? Well, what I did is I created a little document here, box arrived text. So you copy this and then you paste it into a Facebook message or a text message, and you send it to them. And then night before text. So they got the box. They might not start for 3 or 4 days. So the night before, you send them this. Tomorrow marks the big days you begin the 5 and 1. You know, I'd be honored if you'd snap a picture, and then, of course, you go on there. Day 1, day 2, and it goes all the way through the first week. And I wrote these, I tweaked these and kind of optimized them with Optavia terminology, took out the meal replacement, which is an old term we used, and replaced that with fuelings, because that's the new terminology. So these have all been cleaned and refreshed as of 2 days ago. So if you have a list that you've already been using, you may want to update your texting campaign with these. But for those of you that are wondering, well, I can't help anybody because I don't know everything. Well, we're giving you a little recipe here. And so you can send that out each day, and it's just a real nice touch. Any questions? Make sense?
Totally.
All right. So we always end with a little action item. I'm going to invite you guys to an action item that we've talked about many times. Time blocking. Monday nights. Will you show up? Right? Tune in and show up and be part of that. And if you aren't there live, I recommend your action item is to grab your calendar and carve a time where you can be there. If you're a brand new coach, it's going to be 45 minutes total. If you've been coaching a while, it's going to be about an hour total. You'll do the leadership call, and then you'll do the core training. So, I miss anything, Alex or Daniela? Did I?
The only thing, I mean, we've got a lot of information on the table. I just want to encourage you, stay close to the Optimal Health Coach page for the resources. Like Craig said, we post things on there because they're relevant. If you don't know how to use them, get with the mentor coach, support you. Check out the Doug Wood video that was just put out if you haven't seen that, if you're a newer coach, even if you're a seasoned coach, because he takes a very short time and refines those most critical things to do when you first get started. I'm not sure if that's actually available, that video, to everyone, Craig, but do you know what I'm talking about, the new one that just came out?
It's a starting point for new coaches?
Yeah, it's like this really refined video.
It looks like you posted it on the 30th on the Optimal Health Coach page. Let me just share my screen and make sure this is what you're talking about. Is it this one here?
Yeah, it shores up. Yes.
Getting started as a new coach. Weird, cryptic. What does that mean?
Exactly. It's pretty refined, and there's a couple of cool things on that. So, all right.
Yep. Awesome. Daniela, anything?
Yeah. Can I just piggyback on that? Because I was just kind of listening to all of this conversation and trying to listen from a brand new coach standpoint. And because I know we have some on here, the resources are abundant, right? And they're meant to be helpful. But the thing that I remember about being a brand new coach is they're helpful only if I've been connecting with my business coach so that I can utilize them properly, because we might get some ideas about how that looks like and it may not be accurate. So that's my kind of thing, is just really connect with your business coach first and learn how to integrate those beautiful tools.
Well, and Daniela, as you're saying there, think of it Christmas and you have all these presents and there's just too many of them and you can't even see. So we have all these resources that can easily overwhelm you. And you go, I don't even know where to start. There's so much great stuff. I'm just going to go eat chocolate. Right?
Exactly.
And so when you connect with your health coach is going to go, oh yeah, let's let that go. Let's just work on this. Right? So that's one of the values of linking arms with your mentor. They've done this longer than you have. And so don't get overwhelmed. Get connected. Ooh, man, that's good. Did someone write that down?
It was write that down. It really, really helps me because that's exactly like I mean, look at this. I've got all these notes, and I'm like, I'm surprised they're not sticky notes, and it is so overwhelming. And then I'm like, you're showing me your page, and I'm like, where is that? How do I even get there? Yeah.
So Lynn, take a breath and call Martin. You got
my-
this. Yeah.
Paul Martin. That's going to be my mantra.
Yep.
And just as
Exactly right. Because I'm chomping at the bit here. I'm like, I really want to
Well, let's
meet people, know people, help people,
Yep.
and support myself.
Yep. Sweet stuff. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. We've gone a little bit long. That was one for the archives. Wow. So thank you all for what you bring to this team, and thank you for doing the work to grow, because people matter. They do.
People
Who's
matter.
going to help them if we don't?
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
I love
Bless you guys. Bless you guys.
You all.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.